Hey, welcome! You're watching part 11 in the BOSH tutorial series. My name is Chris and today I won't actually talk about BOSH. Well, maybe a little, but I mainly want to talk about Git. Because as you might have noticed, everything we do in BOSH is stored as a plain text YAML file. Now, plain text files are ideal for storing in a version control system. So don't stop watching yet if you're a very experienced Git user, or if you hate Git and you haven't used it at all. Just keep watching. I'll give you some tips on how to use it. If you don't have any experience using Git, I'll just show you how to create the repos and how to use them. So as I just said, everything in BOSH is stored as a plain text YAML file. Now, plain text files we can store in a version control system. And Git is just another version control system, but it's the most commonly used one. So I'll use it as an example in this video. Now, the way I handle my Git repos is basically I'll create one repo for each deployment. So if I deploy a new BOSH director, I will create a new Git repo and then store all the files related to that BOSH director inside that repo. But just the files for the BOSH director. So these are the manifest that actually deployed the BOSH director itself. Any scripts I may have used in the process of generating this manifest. Then also all the config files like the cloud config, CPI config, etc. And then each deployment I do using this BOSH director, I create a new Git repository. So why not putting it all in the same repository? Well, that's because of automation basically. We haven't spoken about automation in these videos. That will come in a few videos actually. But if you want to automate your BOSH deployments and your BOSH updates, etc., it's very nice to have each deployment in its own separate BOSH repository. So that's basically how you handle that. You just create a repository for each deployment and for each BOSH directory you deploy. So if you're a very experienced Git user, go ahead, stop this video, go do something else. If you're not, I'll just show you how you can create those Git repos. And we'll be using GitHub. So this will be a public repo, and after this video you'll be able to see what I did on GitHub actually. So let's get started. We'll open up GitHub, and I created an organization in GitHub called BOSH Rocks. So that's the name of this channel, BOSH Rocks, and it's currently empty. And what I'll do, I'll create a new repository. So here's the button, new repository. And I'll call this part 11 director. So this will be the Git repo for our BOSH director, and part 11 is obviously for part 11 of this tutorial. So put in the description, director files is public, and I won't create any git ignore or license files in this. I'll just create the repository. Alright, so it gives you some instructions on what to do. So what I'll do is I'll copy this, so click this button, and then move over to the console. I'll go into my home directory and I'll type git clone, and then paste the URL I just copied from the GitHub page. Alright, so it tells me you appear to have cloned an empty repository. Well, that's correct. I just created an empty repository. There's nothing in it. So now I can cd into this. Part 11 director. I'll do an ls. It's empty. So what I want to store in this folder are all the director related files we created in the previous videos. So let's quickly move back to that folder, which was called BOSH Tuorial. And as you can see, I just put everything in the same folder, but I want to split that up. So I won't copy over the nginx file, but I'll copy over everything else basically. So I'll copy the cloud config. I'll copy that to the part 11 director folder. Same for CPI config. So the last file I'm copying here is the state.json. And that may even be the most important one, because if you lose your state.json, you basically lose your BOSH director, or you're losing the ability to update your BOSH director. So I'm copying that as well. And now let's move into that folder. All right, there it is. So everything is in this new folder. It's not inside the Git repo yet. So if we look here, it's still empty, right? So it's not on GitHub, and it's not even in my local Git repo. So back to the command line. What I need to do now is I need to add all those files into my Git repo. So I'll type git add dot, and dot just means everything in the current folder. And then I'll type git commit, and this actually commits all the changes into the Git repo. And do git commit -m, so I can type a message for the commit. I'll call this first commit. All right, so now all my files are committed to my local Git repo. If I go to GitHub, it's still not there. So what do I need to do to get it up on GitHub? I need to run git push. And then I need to log in. And now it will upload all my changes into the GitHub folder. And now F5 this. There it is. Everything is up on GitHub. So I'll do the same for the Nginx deployment. Let's move to GitHub, and I'll create a new repository. That will be in the BOSH Rocks organization. I will call it part 11 Nginx. And I usually add deployment dash Nginx. All my deployments start with deployment dash and then the name of the deployment. And description will be Nginx BOSH deployment. Create a repository. And then we'll copy the URL again, go to my home folder, run git clone, paste the URL, got an empty repository, go into the BOSH Tuorial folder and copy over the Nginx file to the part 11 deployment Nginx folder. And then again, part 11 deployment Nginx, we'll do git add dot, just one dot. And then git commit -m. Let's call it first deployment commit. Right, so let's push this up to GitHub. Just run git push, So what happened there? Almost said CF push. I'm doing so much CF pushes in a day. If you don't know what a CF push is, Google it. Really cool. Right, push is finished, and let's take a look at the GitHub repo. And there it is. There's one file uploaded, Nginx YAML, and we can even go in and view the YAML right here. Right, easy enough, right? Git isn't as complicated as you thought it is. Now what if you happen to have a deployment but you lost the YAML manifest? There's a trick for that as well. You can run the BOSH manifest command for your specific deployment. So in this case we do it for the Nginx deployment and we run manifest. So this just spits out the manifest on standard out. Now I can redirect it to a manifest file if I want to. I'll call it Nginx manifest.yaml, and there we go. If I now edit this, Nginx manifest.yaml, there we go. There's the manifest. Of course, now I don't have a track record of whatever changed to the file in the past. So the upside of using Git is that every change you make to it, it will show up in the Git repo. So you can see all the commits you've done in the past. And if you want to do automated deployments and updates on your BOSH deployments, then you actually need a Git repo for all your deployments. Right, that wasn't that bad, was it? That was it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, find me on Twitter or leave a comment down below. Please subscribe, please click like if you like this content. I'll catch you next time. Bye!